Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Juneteenth.
Janelle Monae, The Age of Pleasure.
And congrats, Tyler Perry. So get your cups ready for Minoritea Report.
Hey, welcome to Minoritea Report and happy Juneteenth, bitches.
Hey!
It's Carell.
You know you black. It's Auntie Dewan.
And it's Auntie Jarrell.
You just say something and all black people say, hey.
Hey, right. Turn up. Hey. But we were just saying right before we hopped on, we're like, how is it mid-June already?
Already.
I mean,
ma'am.
2 more breaths and it's about to be December.
Literally.
Ho, make ho, it make ho. Sense. Make it make sense.
Like, damn.
It's crazy. It is crazy. But I mean, hey, if it's gonna be mid-June, I'm here for it because of Juneteenth, and so turn up, make you a plate. Yeah. They started this year. Oh, actually, I think they started last year. Actually,
must be nice.
How are you not getting off? It's a national holiday. Ooh. Don't lose the job. Don't just say nothing.
That's why I say you look. They can't fire me because my eyeballs.
Right.
There are some jobs that have a certain number of federal holidays that they observe, and it's usually somewhere around like 10 a year, 10 or 12 a year, usually around 10, that they do observe, and that leaves other federal holidays out, like I don't want to say C Day, but the Indigenous People Day, President's Day. Those are usually ones that end up getting swapped in and out. Those are federal holidays, but yeah, most companies have like a certain number.
Well, shit, I'm glad my company. I was like, if not, I'll go take it off anyway.
Oh no,
that's why we got BTO. we got that discretionary time
that
off.
Part.
So
that part.
Use it for your birthday.
You will not be
whatever.
seeing me in there. Oh Lord, but yeah, happy Juneteenth, happy Pride Month.
I just sat on. I had a. I know this wasn't part of our production call, but I had the honor and privilege of sitting in on a Black people. What was it called? Black Excellence in Tech panel. So I was a panelist along with several other docu-signers, talking to some young Black minds, and it was just so really reaffirming to like have just this dialogue about our careers and how our identity as Black individuals have been tested and tried, and how you've overcome certain things, and to just hear other people's stories as I'm thinking about Juneteenth. Like, this is all kind of coming back to me now.
That's that song for Juneteenth. Even though she be singing,
right.
But
right.
We'll let's do that next week.
Right. We can we can find at least one song.
But it was just really cool. Like, I just feel really grateful to be at a point in my career where I actually have like real lived in life experience to be able to share with other. I mean, obviously we do things with the podcast, and we answer some life questions, some questionable life questions. But it was just really cool to like have that moment, and like by the end of the panel, like we were all just saying how amazing it is that like we can actually just have this dialogue, and how impactful like this would have been for our careers if we were like 21, 22, 23, just starting out in the professional world, and being able to hear from other, people, seasoned individuals who were a little bit further along in their career, but sharing some of their words of wisdom.
Yeah. And I know I've said it on here before. Like, that's one thing that I'm just so grateful, even though I didn't recognize it. I recognized it because it was my life, but like maybe didn't appreciate as much of growing up in the church in a community that was Dow. and that was like a massive Fortune 500 company, and having so many professional Black people, women, men, young, old, in between, and being able to soak that up and not even knowing I was soaking it up. I'm so grateful. And it comes to moments every once in a while at work. I'm like, oh, that's why. That's why, you know? And it's so dope that I took it for granted, honestly. And I'm sure our parents knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, but they just couldn't say it because we thought it wasn't cool, and we thought it wasn't cool and stuff, like doing the botillions and the cotillions and everything like that. But it made us visible and present in a community that wasn't checking for us. Yeah. And even though we thought it wasn't cool and thought they was making us do all this stuff for business and shit, it comes to work out later in life. So I look back on that so fondly. But again, I wish it was a continued thing early on in my career, because you just need that habitualness, if that's a word, of it around you. And it just, like you said, it pours into your cup, and you know, you're like, and just simply saying, like you said, tested and tried, that's some Black lingo right there. That alone, to be able in a space to say, bitch, they tried it. They was testing me today. Love it.
Yeah. Well, I even think about like Jarrell, like the experiences that you've been having over the last year, and being able to pull people together from the community in Seattle, you know, just under one umbrella, to like come together and just support each other, and to have a hand in like actually creating that event, and then actually seeing it come to fruition, and then also like participating in Afrotech, and like it's really cool. It's really like Juneteenth to me is like one of those like milestones that just says, look how far we've come.
No, honestly, it is. But that's so true. Like, I literally yesterday I was leaving work, and as I was exiting the building, these two Black guys came in, and they were like, "Wait, you the one who threw who threw the Black History Month, you know, happy hour?" And I was like, yeah, that was me. They were like, "Hey, that was so dope. Like, we can't wait to have the next one." You know, and I'm just like, damn, like that was like 4 months ago. And like the fact that someone still like, that's how you like those, it's little things like that when you know that you're like, damn, that made a difference, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Yep. So true. So
yeah.
So happy Juneteenth, damn it.
Thanks for the play. What you cooking?
I'm actually not cooking nothing. I'm going to the Nubia tour. The Nubia tour will be here on Juneteenth.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So
who's
Mo, hey Mo,
hey
Mo. So Mo's gonna be here. So I'll be hanging out with Mo on Saturday night. Nice. Lala Reed, Evie Oddly, Bibi Zahara, Shea Coulee. There's like 2 other ones as well too. But yeah,
Peppermint.
Peppermint, Peppermint's in it too.
And
she's I don't think she's here at this location.
Because I think Peppermint's doing a play in LA right now. I think I just saw.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. In New York, it's much later. It's like, I want to say it's like August when they're going to be physically here, and I'm not going to be able to make it.
Kennedy.
Okay. Oh, Kennedy Davenport?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's in there as well too. Yeah.
Okay, now.
Yeah. I saw Nubia before. I saw Nubia before the pandemic, and it was so dope. It was so amazing. I know.
That's why
I remember that.
That's why when they released the tickets back in March, I was like, I have to go. I absolutely have to go. And then I saw the lineup, but they have a lineup on the poster, but not all the cities are going to have those same 6 girls. They're going to be changing some of the girls. And I was like, man, when I put this, I'm telling you, I put this shit in the universe. I was like, I really hope Mo comes up here. I really hope Mo comes up here. And not me texting her at like 5 o'clock in the morning because I was at the gym. And I said, we gonna fight when you wake up in the morning. Sis, you gonna come to Seattle for the Nubia tour and not say nothing. Yeah?
She don't be telling nobody.
I told her, I was like, I will burn that building down.
Period. Where my wife? Where my wife?
I was like, you know that's not how family works. We don't do that.
Well, that's dope. That is dope.
So I'm excited. I'm so excited to see them.
And then quickly, I gotta just say shout out And from behalf of the aunties to 2 of our community members that are getting married pretty much either like this past weekend they just got married or they're getting married like today to Zay and Chino. Congratulations,
Yes,
boo. That's awesome.
yes.
Yeah. So
Oh, I love
congratulations
them.
getting extra booed up. Even though you was booed up, you're getting that ring forever,
Right.
ever.
Forever, ever, forever, ever.
Oh, wait a minute. Isn't there's another engagement, right?
Oh, yes.
Who got
Ellen.
Ellen,
got
that's right.
engaged.
That's right.
Yes, congratulations,
Yes.
Ellen.
Yes.
Yes. Let me tell you, I felt hella proud. I was like, look, we don't gotta show up at the job no more. Like, look, we just I was like, if anyone do, Ellen deserves this. I was like, yes, absolutely. And she's just so happy.
Falling in love out there.
I know.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, and shout out to our girls over at oh my God. I was gonna say Black Like Us, Trivia for Us.
Trivia for Us. Well, it might as well be Black Like Us.
Black Like Us.
It was stuck in my head, but me and names, so
yeah, true.
Yeah, but they're gonna be doing an event. By the time this episode released on Monday, they'll be doing an event in Midtown, so I'll definitely be checking that out. Hopefully, Carell will be seeing you there. Maybe, hopefully, we'll see. Yeah, yeah, but we just love supporting our people out there. Like it's great to see people just like out there living their lives and thriving, and like we can do our duty, which is throw in support. So, Community, if you want to support us, go out to minoritiareport.com and get you some merch.
Hey.
That's right.
And also, let me and also shout out to the single people. Shout out to the person who's just like, it's just another regular ass day. Guess what? You saw another day. So that what? Bravo to you too. Okay, look, there's always a reason to celebrate. Let's be honest.
For the hoes out there, keep hoeing because I'm living vicariously.
And send the pictures,
honey. Please do. Oh man, question for you. Hey, this wasn't on the list either. Did y'all? Or maybe I did. I can't remember. Did y'all see Anita Baker kick Babyface off the tour?
No.
Yes. And I saw his response, but I don't know what happened.
Me either. But like, even like about a month ago, they had like some technical difficulties where the show got delayed and Babyface couldn't perform. And I feel like that was like the beginning of the end because out the blue, Babyface put that message out there saying, I'm saddened to say that I will not be on the rest of the Anita Baker musical experience tour and something like, and it's like everyone's trying to read between the lines, and then Twitter is just lit up going at Anita. Anita's like not having it. Anita's clapping back. She's like, no, it ain't me, ho. Like, it's crazy. I'm
gonna have to. I didn't see that one. I'm gonna have to go on Black Twitter and look at that and see what the girls are saying.
I'm like, Anita don't kick Babyface off the tour. And then people are saying, but we went to see Anita, not Babyface anyway. And then people are saying, no, we like Babyface and Anita. This is a history of Anita doing this shit. And she did it to Luther. And she did it to I'm like, dang, people like going in. It's like, you don't mess with the Black culture like that.
Apparently Babyface did not bring her any joy, or apparently not enough.
I guess not. No, I guess not. He said this is the end of the road.
Look, Babyface will be all right. His pocketbook is
he will be
fat,
all right.
So he don't really need to be out there in these streets anyway.
And wasn't he just on the Tiny Desk section too, as well too?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
that was good. Yeah. And this how cold you are when your background singers is Tank, and Shantae Moore. And who was the third one?
What's his name?
Oh, Avery Wilson.
Yep.
I was like, that's how you Babyface when you got your 3 background singers are like singers, like famous stars,
right?
Solo artists,
only Babyface.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah.
And don't be sleeping on Shantae Moore. Every time I see Shantae Moore in these moments, I'm like, y'all be sleeping on Shantae. This bitch be singing.
She do be singing. She really do.
Singing. And
I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, it wasn't until I saw her, I was like, is that
Shantae Moore? Shantae.
You know what I'm ready for.
Hey.
Growing up, we used to say Dante's got a man. I got a man.
I'm not really into like singing competitions, like The Voice and like all that. But I could get down with like a singing competition that's based on like R&B and slash like contemporary gospel music. Like that I could get down with. Like I would love to have something
Like
like
that's what I
that.
used to love Sunday best because it used to be like
Yeah, Sunday
Yeah.
best used to be
bangers coming
good.
out of there, and like I'm like
Yeah.
these people are throwing down for Jesus.
But they really were though. Some of them was like, some of them
Singing the
like
face off.
I'm turning up to
Yeah.
this song.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Literally, like it was
Yeah.
like black culture at its finest. I was like,
Mhm.
that's singing
Yeah.
right there. That's
Yeah.
singing.
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, Leandra Johnson came from that, and she's one of my favorite singers now. Like,
Yeah.
she could sing people underneath the table.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll see what comes out of this Anita Bacon Babyface.
Yeah.
Damn, Anita. Damn.
They might look. They might have to do.
Speaking of Sundays, but
they might have another TV show on the works there. You try to put them back together like SWV and Escape. Who gonna get top billing?
Let me tell you, I still die at the clip when they on Jennifer Hudson when they were like, "Are y'all gonna go on tour? Would y'all go on tour with them?" And they all just said, "Let me tell you."
They all look at her like,
took me out. I was like, that's some shit that we would do to each other.
And the funny thing is like, well, the funny thing, sad thing, peculiar thing, I don't know what the right word is, but her album didn't do good. So, you know she's going to be crawling back. So I want to see that.
Right.
They need to record that. That's going to be some good-ass television.
That will be.
Yeah.
But I want you to know, Carell, in this situation, we turn into you. You just know that, right? You're looking at you like,
don't turn to me.
Trying to find the politically correct words.
I'm getting us canceled, so don't turn to me.
Right. Look, I'm HR for work.
Right.
Because out in these streets,
anymore, Jarrell's got the growth. It's the one that done turn into the Dion.
Look, I didn't pass the baton. She said, pass it over here.
You don't have to fight when you can emotionally damage somebody to the point they don't want to get out of bed. Finish him.
Finish him. Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, and then I guess since we're talking about music, this wasn't on the list either. It just popped in my head. Jarrell, you said you like that Janelle Monae album.
I do like
it too.
I like it. I like it. And it feels really short too. Like the next thing I knew was like, boom, it was over. But
I thought I missed a song because like I was looking at it, I was like, I don't remember this song. And then I went back to it. I was like, oh, it was like an interlude. It was like a minute long. It was like like track like number 4 or something like that. I was like, oh shit, this album was 30 minutes long.
You know what? I'm gonna have to, because I've been seeing a lot of love for this album out there in the interwebs. I'm gonna listen to it on my run tomorrow.
It's cute.
It's cute.
And it's more the vibe of Lipstick Lover than Flow, even though they kind of all intertwine.
Yeah.
And Jarrell had said in our text there, he's like, I'm kind of rocking with Float now, even though we dragged it. It's still not my favorite on the album. Like,
it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite, but I don't know, like it just kind of gets me going, like just a little bit to then like the energy that the rest of the album brings.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's definitely a good starter for the album because it does kick off where the rest of the album goes. But I almost started Champagne Shit. I skipped
Champagne Shit. The Champagne Shit is good though. It's good.
Champagne Shit is fire. My favorite, or one of my favorite, I would say. I like Phenomenal with Doechii. I like
Phenomenal. Yeah.
But I love. I'm trying to look for
14 whole damn songs on this record.
But it's only 32 minutes long. The album, they're short. I like the song "Only Have Eyes for Two." That is a bar.
Yeah.
I was like, why has no one ever thought of that title before? It's talking about the threesome.
Yeah.
Only have eyes for two. I was like, damn it, Janelle. Damn it.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like that song too. I like The Rush as well too.
Yeah, The Rush. I like The Rush.
Yeah, I like The Rush as well too.
Like because I was playing it when we were in Michigan, like driving all over the state of Michigan. and I had it on, and even Corey was like, "I like this album." I was like, "Okay, for Corey to even say that shit."
Yeah,
He's
it's
like,
like it's a
"How many
cruise
downloads?"
album. Like it's like an album where you can just
Yeah,
sit there like at a barbecue,
and
like
just have it
just
in the
kick
background
it and
playing.
have it in the background. Like you going on a road trip and you just
Yeah,
like I
it's
was like,
super cute.
okay,
You know what? That's the
yeah,
Juneteenth soundtrack. Play that shit on Juneteenth today.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the
absolutely,
soundtrack at the barbecue.
yeah,
That's what it feel like. But
yeah.
Mhm.
But every time I
okay.
hear Lipstick Lover, I still have to watch the music video because I'd be like, damn,
Lover.
lover,
And you see that
lover.
they made her recut that video. They had to blur everything now. They took that shit down
Mm.
off of YouTube.
Yeah,
Really?
it's,
Wow.
Blur out the shit,
mm-hmm.
YouTube
That's
be
hater,
tripping.
the hater.
Mm.
Hater. Period. So, but all right, all that stuff was not even on the list though. Dewan, you had sent us a text heated
Oh my
this
God.
week. Heated. What you want to talk about, boo? What you want to get off your chest?
I ended up having to block it because apparently I got in somebody's asshole and not in a good kind of way.
Look,
not in a good kind of way. People got butt hurt because of what I said, but I was
She
there
said
was
what she said.
yeah, there was this and I'm not going to even give this person any shine because they're a white gay Republican. And somebody out there, Jarrell Owens, sent this to me and just fucked my whole day up. At 8:00 in the morning, I'm like, bitch, ain't you in Dallas? You shouldn't even be up at this hour. What the hell is going on? And now you're gonna fuck my whole day up. But the premise of it is, and I have the quote here. It says, "I'm tired of being lumped in with an ideology I don't subscribe to. The QT plus demands that society deny objective reality and accommodate their own discomfort with it, and that's going to anger people. But I, as a gay white man, let's be clear, but he didn't say that, gay man, shouldn't have to answer for that anger because gender ideology has nothing to do with my sexual orientation." And while I, to some degree, agree with this, and there's more to that, but I'm not going down the rabbit hole. But the premise of it is basically with the LGBTQIA community, like the alphabet soup. The first couple are really dealing with sexual identity, and the other one is sexual identity, and the other one is dealing with gender identity, right? Binary, transgender, gender nonconforming, intersex, etc. The problem of it is that when these yokels get out there and start pontificating about downplaying the fight that these trans and other individuals who are having, and downplaying their I've got like
Their
1,000
role
thoughts
and
that are
their
crushing to my mouth right now, and I'm trying not to get overheated again. But the problem that I have with this is that when we see so many times these kind of individuals that are weaponizing and using, basically right wing rhetoric to deny and inflame their right wing conspirators, against things like using proper pronouns. And the reality of it is that this is not a question about, science and biology and da da da. This is about respect. So, that and that's the thing that I take issue with. And so when you get on a platform like this, and people start spewing these things off, like the reality of it is it's all ideology. Like race is an ideology. The fact that we call each other black, white, red, yellow, whatever is
right.
ideology, because there ain't no different races. There's one race, a human race. It's the same
Right.
thing as if, when a woman gets married or when a gay person gets married and they change their last name and they ask you to call them by that different name. That's going to be uncomfortable, but damn it, you get over it. So, like, I hate when people do like these kind of false equivalencies, just to appease the people that are being discomforted, because it's forcing them to be more respectful.
That's a word. And at the bare minimum, there could be trans women who are women that date women, so they're lesbians.
Yes.
so they still fall under the umbrella home.
Absolutely.
At the very bare minimum.
Absolutely.
Like, so that's weird to me. And I find a lot of times you find it either straight people, or it's a lot of time the white men in the gay community that try to stir this rhetoric into the community, siding with all the crazy right wings and things like that. And then it gives those crazy right wings the power to say, oh yeah, there's still people in your community, they think this and they said it's true. And then it's like, no, ho. no, we don't claim them.
Here's the thing that burns my britches is that you sit there in your ivory white tower experiencing the adjacent privilege of straightness and whiteness and enjoying the privilege of the rights that essentially Black and brown folks fought for, and more specifically that trans folks have fought for. So like the absolute gall, I'm sorry, I'm getting all heated.
No,
but like
the
absolute gall to sit up there and benefit from people who have laid down their lives for the simple possibility that you can have this platform so that you can be out there and be proud and be who you are. But now you're going to sit here and try to weaponize their rhetoric to fit your political ideology. It's fucking bullshit.
It is
and you need to be called out on that. So
1,000%.
You heard that?
Right. No, that's
girl.
Right.
Look, I'm glad let me tell you, I'm quiet because this is me every Pride Month. This right here is me every Pride Month. You took that whole baton, Duane. Take it,
whole baton, right?
Take it, girl. Yes, I'm here for it. I was just having conversations with people about just like, again, just how I don't like to really celebrate Pride just because it's not as inclusive as it should be. It isn't. And like the shock on the faces of people are like, wait, there's racism in the queer community?
Girl.
Here we go.
Girl.
But it was funny, Duane, when you sent that though, because literally that same day is when that Claudia Jordan show, and I don't even know, like, what's her show called? Like Foxhole and Friends or something like that. With like her and what's old girl's ex-husband, Star's gay husband.
Yeah.
and when it all falls down, lady. Stating they were upset that on the cover of I almost said Vogue, it's a Glamour UK, is a trans man and he's pregnant. Mm-hmm. And they were just losing their shit about it and saying this is so wrong, and why are they calling it chest feeding? I'm gonna call it breastfeeding because it comes from breasts and all this stuff. And it's just, again, so upsetting for celebrities at that status. People look up to them, especially in the Black community and things like that. It reminds one that there's still a long way to go within our own Black community about this perception of just homophobia, transphobia, and the whole umbrella phobia that still permeates our community.
Yeah.
And right when we think we're turning a corner and like, okay, we got some strong allies in here, they do some shit like that on their platform that's so massive. And then you also have a gay Black man on there perpetuating the shit, condoning this shit too, co-signing this shit. And so I was just like, yeah, like this is so like, so Duane was upset that day, and then like I saw his shit, I was like, damn, this white dude going off. And then you just scroll up some more, then you got the Black people going ham.
Going on.
You're just like, it's like, but for me, I'm almost the opposite of Jarrell. I'm like, fuck that. Y'all gonna see me this Pride and you gonna hear me this Pride. And I'm gonna be all the way out here because y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. And y'all gonna see me, ho.
I'm tired. You know, every now and then, the fighting spirit has to go on vacation. And that's kind of.
And Jarrell got the other 11 months for it. She got them hands the other 11 months.
Absolutely. This month, you know how I'm celebrating Pride? With peace. That's how I'm celebrating Pride.
the 130 days out of the year. Like, kumbaya. Right. This Capricorn said, right. I'm gonna hibernate.
I know that's right. She said it's hibernation season. But it's just so frustrating. And I feel, honestly, sometimes Claudia Jordan and that crew almost say shit just to say shit because they know it's going to stir and it gets the numbers up for their thing.
Yep.
But it's exactly so dangerous. It's so dangerous when you talk about this shit. And it's all, like you said, it's already the right wing and those crazies doing shit to our community. And so to keep rounding that shit up is so dangerous. And I don't think they quite understand that part.
Yeah.
If you feel that way, cool. Think that shit to yourself over there. Don't put this on your platform, because there's people that look like them. We got the same melanation that's already hard out here as a Black person. And we got this other minority part of us. And you're doing damage to your own community. And that's fucked up to me. That's so fucked up to me. So here we are bitching out the white men about some bullshit they're saying. Yet we can't even go home because homegirl's saying the same shit.
Yeah. I had a really interesting conversation with my sister when we were in Amsterdam about transness, and my sister is the like one of the most accepting, understanding, individuals like on the planet. And I was definitely, well, first of all, we were drunk, so the conversation didn't go left, but it was just like we weren't hearing each other and weren't articulating ourselves appropriately. Like, we didn't get heated. It was just, like I found myself getting frustrated because I'm trying to reconcile the person that I know, my sister, who she is, with what the words are coming out of her mouth, and what was coming out was actually, legit, like, her point. And I don't want to like belabor, put all their business out in the street, but, her point, as I understand it, in hindsight and sober sight, is more about, the fact that we have institutions that have yet to catch up with our evolving state. So when it comes to trans individuals and things like sports and other kinds of things, right? We are not at a place where we have figured out how it can work in a way that's going to be equitable. Okay. I'm paraphrasing. Okay.
Yep.
And I was taking that as, like I was taking it left. So, and I don't know, maybe I'm just on my, like, I rock for trans individuals so hard right now that's who I'm fighting for. So like, I'm in that, like, trans ally era. So I'm just repping that. And so I'm just leaning into that, and it's fueling a lot of, like, I have a lot. You all know I'm already a passionate person. I'm a very passionate person when it comes to things and people I care about. So I get that, but like you said, Carell, it sometimes be your own people. And I understand lack of understanding. I understand like not knowing like what the thing is. I understand like having to navigate changing the way that you even think about a certain thing that you've thought your entire life, because it requires evolving and people need space in order to do that. It's just frustrating, because at the end of the day, all any of us really want is to be left the fuck alone.
Period.
Like,
leave us alone. By my damn self.
If I want to put on a wig and read books to some kids, and the people decide to, it's not like I'm ambushing, like baby parties and shit, and like, I'm gonna read to you, bitch.
Right. You gonna hear this book today.
Horton here's a hoe.
Right. It's like, bitch, you need to read a book no ways anyway. So it's like, shit.
Right. Like we like this, the LGBTQIA plus community is, a bunch of people that just want to love who they want to love. They just want to be who they want to be. They don't really want to bother nobody. They just want to be able to do them. And it ain't got shit to do with you. And it's just like, y'all want to be so up in our business. Like, go, Karen, go.
Right. And the scary part of me too is like, it's the uneducatedness. And I get that we're all uneducated at points. But if you don't know what you're talking about, don't use your platform to spread what you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
That part.
And that bothers me so bad. And that's what made me that Claudia Jordan thing so bad. I was like, y'all don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And you're saying you don't know, yet you're making this a segment on your show and putting this shit on social media like it's the truth. And that's so infuriating to me. So infuriating.
But here's the thing that I hate. As much as that is very much true, there's also the other portion of it, is the fact of how many people out there that just really eat that shit up, that don't fact check.
They know it.
They don't fact check. And they just run with it. They just run with it. And if those people didn't exist, guess what? That wouldn't be their game. That wouldn't be their MO. That wouldn't be their move. They would have to figure something else out.
Isn't that the criticism of that trans individual that was invited to the White House that ended up bouncing her titties on the White House lawn?
Yeah. And it's like, and I get the respect of the White House and things like that, but if you feel disrespected your entire life, sometimes you gotta do some shit to shake shit up. And I don't want to go back to the White House, no way. So anyway, but shout out to Illinois. We'll kind of get back because we get heated. We like, I feel we're all like, it's right there.
Yeah, we went from Juneteenth to anger.
I mean, it's all in the same month.
I mean, we have the right to be mad.
Honey.
That part.
I literally said I'm still waiting on the reparations. I'm just still waiting.
And at this point, Selena Johnson and all of them ain't getting none.
Yeah, California's getting close.
That part.
Yeah, there are different parts in different communities across the country, but shout out to Illinois right now. Illinois becomes the first state to ban book bans, which is wild. So dope. And it says here, they're saying we are, hold on, let me even back up. It says House Bill 2789 signed into law Monday by Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker will deny state funding to public libraries that ban materials because of partisan, and it's in quotes, partisan or doctrinal disapproval of the content. We are not saying that every book should be in every single library, but what this law does is says, let's trust our experience and education of librarians to decide what books should be in circulation. And then it goes on and kind of just gives more detail. But I'm glad to see states fighting back because education is the only way we grow. Education is the only way we get out of the craziness that we're in. And the people banning shit know that. They know that. They did the same shit during slavery. That's why they didn't want us to be educated. That's why we didn't want to read. They wanted us to read and write because we could figure some shit to get out of the situation we're in and to do better. So it's the same shit repeating itself over time. So shout out to states that are doing this shit.
I'm not quick to celebrate just yet because I just have in my spirit. I just have this feeling that there's going to be someone that's going to try to overturn this because of how
the governor signed it.
Well, yeah, so once it's signed, yeah.
But let's just say this. We have seen things be overturned. We've seen laws be challenged and stuff like that. This isn't forever. This is not concrete. There are ways that things can be undone and be changed. Just like we see even last year with the Roe v. versus Wade. Like the wicked doesn't rest at the end of the day.
But the cool thing though about it, it makes it a little harder.
Makes it different.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
makes it a little longer to get to that point. That hopefully by the time it gets to that point, there's maybe more educational tools that get out there to open the minds of more people. So that's really
you're right. I'm just tired. I'm just tired and jaded. I'm over it. So I'm like, I don't like
jaded.
There's not a celebrating anything. I'm like, there is so much to do. What you got? What you celebrating for? Keep it going, girl. Let's keep it moving.
I know that is right. And then also shout out to Alex Newell and J. Harrison Ghee, first non-binary folks winning Tony Awards, which is wild to me. Like, Broadway is a very queer community.
Yes.
And they the first.
But you know what, though?
And I'm glad they were people of color, too. Let's make people of color the first.
But the money when it comes to Broadway behind the scenes
that is very conservative.
Exactly that.
Yep, very
exactly
that. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. I'm so happy for Alex. I love Alex Newell. I've been a fan ever since the Glee days.
And Alex be singing their face.
And they did Pinball Machine. I said, bitch, I know that's right. Starships. Bitch singing a face off. I've been a fan forever.
Yeah.
Just absolutely. I was just so happy. I was so happy. I really, in my mind, I act like I know her. In my mind, I act like I know them in my mind. I really do. That's my friend.
Right, that's my friend down the street.
Right.
That's my cousin. Yeah, so shout out to both of them. That's incredible. And you could tell they knew how big the moment was, and they were just so happy. The exuberance of that moment like transcended the screen. So I was like, that's dope. That's dope. All right, we're going to take a quick little tea break, and we'll get into Ashy Aunties. We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo, aunties
got
merch! Hey, that's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there. So go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find us at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to MinorityReport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself. All righty, ladies. We haven't done Ask Your Aunties in a couple weeks, so what time is it?
Me.
Ask
your
Who wants to read it this week?
Nels goes.
I'll do it. All right, dear aunties, I'm one of only a few Black executives, not the only Black male in my company, about 25,000 employees. I work in healthcare and in a corporate and very white boys club organization. I lead our health equity programs, which support minority and underserved patients and communities with the goal of eliminating disparities. Over the past 3 years, I've been growing out my hair, and some days you'll see me in a ponytail or comb coils or a curly fro. Recently, a white colleague male made a comment about my many hairstyles, quote unquote, and not knowing which way I was going to show up in a meeting. Truthfully, I was annoyed and just brushed it off. I was also interested in getting a cartilage piercing, but I was worried about how it may be perceived by others in my organization. Any advice on navigating the white corporate world while being Black?
You know, it sucks that we still get these questions. Like, and I know a lot of people are like, what else can you talk about? And then, like, haven't you gone through? No, it's still 2023, and we still have to deal with these damn questions where people talking about a hairstyle you coming into this week. It don't matter. What non-hairstyle you coming in here? You need a new hairstyle, ho. I just get so frustrated with this. And honestly, do you, boo? Do you? If I've learned anything at the end of the day, wear the hair you want to wear. If you want to chop it off next week because you want to chop it off, then chop it off. If you want to get a cartilage piercing, get a cartilage piercing. It doesn't matter, because the same person that made this comment might not be there next week, and then you over here making your whole being about that person that now has moved on. Find the peace in your stuff. You clearly are doing what you're doing because you enjoy it, because it brings you joy. Brings joy. And we've had similar questions like this over time, and we even talked about like the code switching on Gayish when we were just on Gayish a couple weeks ago. So check that episode out, because we similarly kind of dissect this kind of thing. I had made a comment there where I had grown my cornrows and kept it in corporate America simply because I wanted to prove a point that a Black man at 6'2" that has cornrows could kick everybody's ass in this building, like, and corporately, not like physically, corporately. You know,
there's a difference.
So, and I wore because they were dope. I liked them; they was cute. And so now I have a little kind of longer fade now, because I think it's cute, because I like it, and it's not because it's what everyone else is thinking I need to wear in corporate America. To brush it, and the sad thing is, like, we always got to constantly brush these stupid comments aside, and sometimes you might just need to clap back right quick. In a corporate setting, there's terminology that gets your point across in a corporate setting. To tell you that shit annoyed me, shut your mouth and let's do business, because this ain't got nothing to do about business. You talking about my hair. But I'm curious, when we get to Dewan, since you are in HR and these situations obviously occur in the corporate setting, what is an appropriate way to either report something like this that doesn't ultimately get you, if I hate the word blacklisted, but quote unquote blacklisted in a corporate setting? Because, you know, sometimes that shit happens when you bring up concerns about someone, especially a white colleague.
Yeah. Jarrell, what are your thoughts before I dive in?
I was going to say two things. One, I understand, even though I'm bald-headed, the
girl, you got more hair than me.
True. But you know, I don't have enough hair.
I wish I could have some cornrows.
I wish I had some Toro to a white colleague to say something.
Like, thank you, both. You notice?
Mark, Mark, you notice my hair today? Come on, say something.
It's a cornhole. Sorry. Go ahead, Boo.
I can't with you too. I was just saying that, the truth is, Black hair is often tied to our identity, right? So I can see it not being so easy to just shake it off and say, just do you. Because the truth is, you already are doing you, and you being you is something that's grabbing attention that you aren't even asking for, right? Yeah. So I think that's more of the question that they're looking for, or the answer they're looking for is, how can I continue to be me without having to answer these questions, without having to have comments like this? Because they say they're already rocking these different styles, right? So I think there's a comfort level of already doing that, but how to not let it be something that affects you, right? And I think for me personally, I would just simply say, or just remember that there are people out there who wish they could rock what you got. Mm-hmm. Auntie Shar, as an example, just cracking that
joke. True.
So
she learning. So she learning.
Learning on the job.
Growth.
So honestly, I would just say, look at it as more of a compliment when they're saying that they aren't sure, because I think for me, I would look at it like, well, maybe I got them on their toes. They don't know who the fuck I am. So you better stay looking for my ass, bitch, because you never know who you gonna motherfucking see. So what? You better be asking these questions. So that's kind of how my mind would be thinking if they say some shit like that, because that means they got too comfortable. And nobody at work better feel comfortable like they know me enough to know what I'm gonna do the next day, or the day after that, or the next week for that matter. So you're doing right. You're doing right. You're doing all the things you're supposed to be doing.
So, Dewan, that goes back to my question: how do we do that in a corporate setting correctly? Come on, HR.
Well, the first thing that I would do is I would check your code of conduct, your company's code of conduct, because your code of conduct should clearly state what is acceptable and what is unacceptable behavior at the workplace, and particularly as it relates to how someone is dressed, how they wear, any kind of harassing conversations, any kind of commentary about someone's physical appearance, and hair is an extension of one's physical appearance. These are things that have absolutely nothing to do with one's job. And so I would start there, better understand what is within your corporate policy. Because if your corporate policy regarding the code of conduct for your employees does not stipulate that, then they can say and do whatever they want. And the burden's going to be on you to prove that this is creating a harassing situation. So that's number one. Number two, how should they handle the situation? I mean, there's a couple ways that you can go through it. I mean, one is just, it's a microaggression, number one, because even though there might not be any intentional or any ill intent, let's put it that way, any ill intent or purposeful ill intent, it's still a microaggression. And the challenge and the problem with microaggressions, it's death by a thousand paper cuts, right? One little paper cut might not do too bad, but you got 1,000 of the motherfuckers and you bleeding to death. So, it adds up over time. And, there are different ways that you can respond to those. One, you could, clap back and just be like, so my hairstyle has what to do with my job, and stare them in the face and put the pressure back on them. Some people ain't comfortable doing that, but this is one way that you can get your point across. The other way is to leverage your company's employee relations team. And this team is responsible for investigating these situations and providing courses of action with regard, and doesn't necessarily mean somebody's getting fired or whatever, but it might mean that that person will get called into the office to have a conversation. They'll have to go through some kind of training. It becomes a thing like, oh damn, I don't even want to deal with this shit anymore. And they end up leaving the organization. I think the other thing is that, particularly like Black and brown people and people that are part of the LGBTQIA plus community, really assess the kind of job that you're in and whether that is a company where you should be bringing your talents to. There's a reason why a lot of people are leaving the healthcare industry. There's a reason why there are a lot of people, talented, creative, amazing, incredibly, just vivacious and passionate individuals that are leaving these industries like teaching, nursing, etc. There's a reason for that. It's because those professions have not created a space that is safe for them to be who they are or to do what they do well. And so they choose to find something else. And so, listen, I'm not telling you to quit your job.
No.
But
don't say your auntie said to quit. No, we didn't.
I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is take stock, because if this is a situation, not everybody wants to go to work and have to do the Civil Rights Act every single day. Not nobody. There aren't that many of us that want to do that. I personally have found that is not my ministry. So y'all want to act crazy? Listen, I used to work in banking. Right? It is of the most conservative of conservatives that there could possibly be. I also worked in insurance. You know what I learned? I don't like working in conservative organizations. So, so I went to fashion. I went to cannabis. I'm now in technology. So and I'm not saying it's that easy for people, especially that have specialized careers, to make that decision. But in the healthcare arena, there are certainly a lot of other organizations, a lot of other companies, big and small, that are doing really, really great work that create an environment that allow people to be themselves. And so there's a couple of suggestions. Number one, confront respectfully. And I would say, what does that have to do with my job?
Yeah.
And leave it at that. You ain't got to explain. You don't have to and what does that have to do with my job? Put it back up. And you will watch them. Oh, I wasn't. I didn't mean any offense. You will see them backtracking. You will see them backtracking on that. That's one way to do it. It's it takes a little bit of professional courage for you to be able to do that. The other way is to seek help within your own organization and leverage your employee relations team. And oftentimes you get to them through like your HR representative or whatever, and they can champion on your behalf. And then the third one is really just make an assessment. Is this a kind of organization where you should be bringing your talents towards? Because right now there is a talent shortage. And companies will be willing and able and would love to court your big black ass with your big curly hair and all the different hairstyles and the piercings and to have the talent and the expertise and and all of that experience that you bring to the table in their organization.
Yeah.
Don't let your job bring you down. It ain't worth it, Miss Seeley.
It's so especially if it's something you want to do. Like you say, ain't got shit to do with your job. Like getting a car's piercing ain't got shit to do with your job. It ain't gonna bring me down. It's gonna bring me up. It's a piercing.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the few black people in healthcare, if you enjoy your job, we need you there because we need some black people in healthcare. So
that part.
Well, maybe not in that particular place, but maybe somewhere else.
Right. Somewhere else. Exactly. But it's just like, if you take stock and you're like, no, I like the industry I'm in. Maybe it's the company you're at, but kudos to you for working your way up the ranks in a field that really hasn't checked for the health of our community. So kudos to you on that. But rock them curls, because some of us ain't got it. Some of us losing it. It is what it is.
Don't point at me, bitch, when you say that shit. Come on now.
No, I'm talking about me. That's why I got a hat on today.
I think there is. Especially
go ahead.
Really quick, I just think especially within the Black community, there is a notion about security that we believe once you finally get that good job, that you need to stick it through. And that is some white spoon-fed bullshit that is designed to keep you stuck in that dead ass
and frustrated
job. So career advice to anybody out there listening is, if you're in a job that you don't like, if you're in a career that you don't like, you don't have to stick there. Ain't none of these jobs secure. The reality of it is, ain't none of these jobs secure, because let the company have three consecutive quarters of bad financials. They will be slicing and dicing all these people that you think that they will be never going anywhere. So
all I can hear is Beyonce saying, "Somebody getting fired, somebody getting fired."
Like we got to get out. We got to get out of this mindset of like, oh, I got this good job, and like that's the only one that's out there. The market right now, the job market is teeming with amazing opportunities, both within your particular area and potentially remotely. So I would encourage you to really think hard about, where do you want to choose to bring your talent? Not all of us have the luxury of, doing our chosen thing in our chosen, in our chosen city or in our chosen profession or whatever. But sometimes you got to do a sidestep in order to move your career in a path that's going to be in a pathway that's going to be more in alignment with who you are as a person. I challenge you to think that way. And if you need to talk offline, hit me up in the DMs and we can have a real coaching conversation around, career pathing.
Love that. And thanks for sending that kind of a vulnerable question, because this shit happens and it's just like, and it eats at you. So continue to send your questions to aya@minoritetyreport.com or DM us. All right. Well, we got to end the episode, but quickly, we haven't talked about Drag Race in a little bit because the season kind of is dry, to be honest. But the last few weeks, there's been like some hodgepodge and some controversy that's kind of actually leaked outside the show and now in the Twitter field and the real world. So I don't even know the last time we talked about Drag Race. I don't know where we left off. But what I'm talking about is where Heidi left the show.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler. It's 2 weeks ago.
But
3 weeks at this point.
Before we dive into tea, I just want to give some props to Jessica Wilde for that My Coconuts performance. Bitch, yes. I've watched that clip. I don't know how many times. That is the funniest shit I've seen. She ain't did nothing on that stage but wobble them little titties around. And she literally didn't do anything that we didn't do as 12-year-olds with socks in our t-shirts. And it was
like we all been there.
Right. It was just such a joy.
It's like that water balloon challenge that was going viral like 6 months ago.
That brought so much goddamn joy. Dressed as La Veneno. Props. Okay.
And honestly, she's one of the few highlights of the show because everybody else.
Actually, she's my favorite.
She's
my favorite.
Her and Jimbo are probably my favorite right now. I like just how kooky Jimbo is.
If Will Ferrell did drag, that's who Jimbo
it would be. Jimbo.
I cannot even stand Will Ferrell. I hate that dumb drag. And that's all she is. That's all it is. She's just quirky. Like the bitch has done 7 lip syncs in her fucking career, and she has never won one.
She can't lip sync for the shit.
When she was crying, I was like, oh, you can't, like
you can't dance.
I mean, God, so you need big fake boobs to distract from your
lack of talent.
1s and 3s. Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
See, I think Jimbo can paint. And I think actually I like even
at the level of a clown.
Well, I mean, she's Jimbo the Clown. That's her drag name.
Okay, that's not painting. That's one of them goddamn Halloween town, little Halloween kids. She literally take them damn Halloween kids that you get from one of the Halloween town stores, and she's just that's what she looks like to me.
I like people that push what we think drag can be, and in recent seasons there haven't been that many because everyone wants to be the pretty drag queen now, and with the flat hair and things like that. So whenever someone comes out that's a little kookier and things like that, I'm here for it because I'm tired of the pretty queen because there's got to be something else than just the pretty queen because you ain't the prettiest of the bunch.
Kardashian Drag Race for crying out loud because everybody looks the goddamn same. Right.
It's but now I guess what everyone's talking about is Heidi in closet. Said, you know what? This ain't bringing me joy. Y'all bothering the shit out of me. And guess what? I'm checking out. So she left the show So that was kind of like the big of the season so far. But now, fast forward to the next thing, it's kind of bleeding off of the show onto Twitter between what's her name,
Kahana Montrese.
Yeah, Kahana Montrese and Heidi, because what happened was Kahana felt during this game of love that Heidi was like picking on her because she was like struggling.
Yeah,
she was struggling, all right, but that's
what
everybody does. That's
right.
what everyone does. She was terrible, but she felt like she was going too hard on her. But Heidi obviously saw that she was floundering. And so now on the interwebs, they just been having words back and forth like, bitch, it wasn't even that deep. This is what Heidi's saying. I didn't even really go on that hard on you. It was part of the game. That's what you do in Snatch Game. And Kohana's all in her feelings. And now they just yep on the Twitter sphere. So let me back up. If you were in Heidi's space and you felt like the drag queens were kind of lying on you and things like that, would you take yourself out of the situation like she did? Or you'd be like, okay, it's part of reality TV. It's part of the game. I'm going to show these hoes and like throughout the rest of the game that I am that bitch.
I mean, I personally, I genuinely think she left because of guilt. I think she might actually think that she could have. I think she knew she crossed over. Like, don't be calling me your sis, and then in the competition, you using me as your stepping stool to get a one up in the competition, right? And then, like, I'm not here for that, and she know that wasn't cool. But I think the pushing point, though, I think is not that. I think what it really boiled down to was what she told Jimbo based off of what
Candy said.
Candy Muse had been saying, right? That is the actual tipping point that I think really got her to ultimately leave the show, because what happened was, now it was like she knew she messed up with Kahana, and now it was like she was a bad person for telling Jimbo what Candy Muse had said, and
which she really said Alexis, that shit.
What she did, right?
She did, and we know she did. We know she did because of the way she voted in the next episode. We know that she said that
part of
it, which is some bullshit. Which is some bullshit, because I would be in my feelings too. If we got an alliance, bitch, we got an alliance, and I don't care if it's a game. The fact of it is, you play the game, and if you're going to be an alliance, then be in that fucking alliance. But if you want to play the game, then don't be in an alliance, bitch. Like, that's integrity.
And don't get mad at someone to call you out on it, and then you try to. And that's my thing with Candy is she's the type of person who wants to talk. She just gets loud. She wants to talk loud, and she thinks talking louder than everybody else is going to scare people away. But I feed off of people who talk louder. So in my mind, I'm already like, oh, you can keep talking louder all you want to. That ain't gonna change shit. And I'm sure she's the type of person who know that talking loud has gotten people to back down and gotten people to stop conversations or whatever. And then fucking Alexis being like, she did. Wait. Oh,
she lost all her integrity.
That's the one that cowered to Candy.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. And I think that was part of it. She was like, you know what? I'm over here being honest, and now this situation and this situation, I'm out.
I'm not here for that.
I'm out.
I just have
because then the truth is you got to play the game by yourself at that point going forward, and that's a lonely ass thing where there's 7 girls at that point. You have through.
I just have one other kind of like point on this is that, for the last 2 episodes prior in Untucked, and they showed some of it on the regular show. I don't really watch Untucked like that anymore because I'm like,
me too. It's not as good as it used to be.
No, it ain't. Yeah, ain't nobody getting having monologues and getting water thrown at them.
Juicy.
You could never get a sugar daddy. Ain't none of them happening. But she had been frustrated. Heidi had been frustrated personally because her drag has come so far from where she was before, and it wasn't really resonating. She wasn't really getting the win. So she had mentioned many times, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be out. Like, they're not seeing whatever I'm serving. They are not into. I can see it every single episode." So I feel like, the thing with Candy was a straw that broke the camel's back. She's like, they not seeing me, and my drag has been elevated. I'm putting like all this effort and energy into it, and I'm not getting the recognition that I deserve. So clearly something's not working. Number 1, and number 2, the alliance that I thought I had clearly has gone to shit because now there's like, all this bullshit happening. And then Kakana is over here having a meltdown when, bitch, you've been in the bottom 14 million times since the show even started.
Bitch, and used her?
Don't be mad at me because you doing bad. So she's like, you know what? This is too damn much. Like, let me go ahead and fuck my husband.
Oop, I know that's right. Her husband. But I was so mad because I like Heidi. Yeah. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I was hoping she realized, oh, hold on. This is a TV show. You know what? Let me get out my feelings as a TV show and let me get all this airtime because this shit ain't real. and that's what I hope people realize when they go on these shows, especially now Drag Race show. It ain't about friendships you had at the clubs 2 weeks ago. It ain't about none of that. It's about entertainment, TV, and this shit ain't real. And I get that, yes, it's just a lot to bear, and they say it's a pressure cooker being on this show and things like that. But guess what? If I feel like I'm the baddest bitch in here, okay, I'm gonna show y'all hoes some shit then, and let Rue decide, because ultimately that's who it matters. It don't matter about Candy. Bully me all you want to. Guess what? Rue's the ultimate decider on this shit. Not you, Candy. Not you, Kahana. And Kahana, you suck. So you next up. Right. I wish Heidi knew in that moment that Kahana was on the bottom the last 3 episodes, and that she was next up to get the boot.
But I think here's the thing, though. The truth is, and this is what Candy's kind of whole thing was the very next episode, right? I don't want that to bleed on me. I don't want that, what she was saying, to carry on me. So then I end up in the back because all y'all think I was doing this, and then I get all the votes. And that's pretty sure also added to what Heidi was probably thinking as well too.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that now, look, I'm in the middle of all this. Everyone's gonna vote me out anyway. So what's the fucking point, right?
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's a popularity contest within the girls.
Yeah. True.
Right. True. As far that's what it is. Yes, it's about making Rue laugh, but Rue isn't the one sending the girls home.
But Rue's the one saying you the best of the week. So now you have the power to send these hoes home.
Right. But all you have to, but if the one time you don't, you
that's
out.
True.
So
let me be the one time. It ain't this week because Kahana sucked.
But that's
and they all told, and they all were already saying it. They were all already whispering that Kahana was next.
Oh, well, again, I know we know that, but that's one more week. That's one more week. That's one more week. At that point, for me, I feel like understand. But I'm leaving. I'm not leaving because of that. I'm leaving because I got kicked off the show for fighting Candy Muse. That's why I'm leaving this stuff. I'm being exited.
I would pay to see that
fight.
I would pay to see that fight. Oh my God, Candy needs to be.
That's how I'm leaving.
She needs to get her ass beat so bad. Oh my God.
And the thing is, I don't know why they're so surprised, because this is the same game Candy played the first time she was on this show.
Oh, absolutely.
It's the exact same thing. So I'm like, that's part of me. And I say that it's easy for me to say that because I'm not on the show. I'm not in that pressure cooker. But it's just I think I would almost go into this show writing notes to myself before I got on the show. This is not real. This is going to be a pressure cooker. And reread them shits every night. Be like, oh yeah, Carell, hold on. Snap myself back into reality. Get your feelings out this. This is not reality. Do what you can control. It is what it is, So Heidi would have been in the top 3.
I think she would have been. I think it would have. I think you're right. I think it would have been. Yeah, she would have been in the top 3, but she wouldn't have won.
No.
And I don't know. I secretly feel like she probably had IBS, and she's like, I need my medicine. I need to just go home and be next to my own damn toilet. Y'all feed me nothing but this goddamn Chipotle every goddamn day, and these craft services. This is, and I'm stuck in this room with ain't got no internet and shit, and I got bookings that I done gave up for this bullshit. I ain't want no goddamn.
I ain't want no more.
This ain't it for me. I don't even give it. Let me go back home to my real life, my man and my turlet.
I know it was funny. Heidi tweeted Kahana, because Kahana was saying all this popping off, and they were popping back and forth. And Heidi commented and said, "Liking this tweet from Norway." And she just international hoe. I was like, and she said something to Kahana. She's like, "You live in Vegas. I could buy it," because Kahana was saying, "Heidi, like you broke." Da 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 da. And Heidi was like, "You live in Vegas. I could buy a house in Vegas. Like anybody could buy a house in Vegas."
Oh my god!
The tweets are fire. The tweets are fire. What they're going back and forth on. And then Kahana's like Jarrell Spirit. Kahana was like, "You know what? It's on site." Like she literally got on camera. She stopped tweeting. She filmed herself. She's like, "I mean what I said. It's on site." Yeah, I was like, "Damn, Kahana over here trying to fight now."
But you know what though? The realty is that shit could just be shit that they are just feeding into just because it's hype and blah. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of beefs that we think are real, and that shit ain't real at all. Shit. It's entertainment, you know. So it's like, you know.
But overall, what are we thinking? How's this season on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's very underwhelming considering how amazing All Stars winners was. You know, it's it's hard to go back to just like regular All Stars. And even like last week when they had Angeria as like the lip sync assassin, I'm like, I mean, she's good, but would I call her the assassin?
She wasn't even an assassin on her own season.
Right. Like I don't like and that's the thing that's really bothering me. Like you're bringing quote unquote lip sync assassants who really ain't lip sync assassins to come in and
everybody
perform.
Must have been booked and busy last summer.
Apparently. I mean, they got all this time to do fucking pit stop and that kind of bullshit, but like you can't go back on and like, you know, do a number. Damn.
I guess not. They said, you know, well, last summer was like COVID was starting to kind of reopen. They said, no, we got paychecks. We got to get some paychecks.
Right. Look, you giving me that prize money? You giving me that $5, $10, $20, $30,000? Because if not, bitch, I ain't not a booking,
I got this club gig overseas.
Not a day booking fee for $750.
Right.
So I don't get out of bed for less than $10,000 a day.
That part. Come on, Naomi. Who's your top 3 right now?
3.
I know it's tough.
I mean, all I got is 2. I really just have Jessica Wilde and Jimbo. Like those are the only 2.
Yeah.
I
think the third one's probably gonna be old girl that cowered to Candy. It's either gonna be the girl that cowered to Candy or Candy. The rest of them, I don't know.
But what?
Who's the one? Alexis Michelle or whatever?
Alexis Michelle. I don't like her.
Oh, yeah.
She's just not good. You know who I'm mad that went home though? James Mansfield.
Ooh. Same.
I'm mad about that. And I'm mad that when they showed the lipsticks,
did it on purpose. They knew.
Because I honestly, she would have, even though she's not the best drag queen in terms of glitz and glamour and whatnot, there was something about James Mansfield. There's something very quirky but sophisticated. Like she's in on the joke. It's very meta. She knows it. Like it's like this ditzy kind of like, you know, things are a little bit off kilter and she's always looks a little drunk and does like, but it's that's the shtick. Like that's the thing.
If she only had better sold clothes, that's the only thing holding James back. Is the clothes are just not quite fitting right and not quite. But I agree, like if that, because that's the only critique they've been giving her the whole season. Like the clothes are just slightly ill-fitted.
Yeah,
I'm looking at this. Candy knew she had to get rid of James.
Yeah, but they all did. That's the thing, because like when they showed the lipsticks, they all got rid of them. It's like that don't make no damn sense. That to me was like producership, because
I mean it was James and Kahana. They know Kahana ain't gonna beat them. I would have done the same thing probably, honestly. And if it came down to James and Kahana, I would have been torn because I'm like, damn, Kahana, get out of here. Just like on the basis like you're not doing well. But then it's like, damn, do we get James out of here? Because I know Kahana probably gonna be here again next week.
I'm looking at who's left.
I know. I just think, honestly, I think it's just a popularity contest, and I think they all just like Kahana more as individuals versus James.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. So, community, let us know what you think on this whole season. Are you watching? It feels like it's a slightly tougher season to get through right now.
Yeah. I lost all respect for Alexis. Like that whole like
1000.
I wasn't really a big fan of hers, but I was actually rooting for her through this because I was like, oh wow, you know, her drag has stepped up. Like she looks a way more polished. She's way more put together. Like that bald look that she had was just like stunning. By the way, you need to cut off all that goddamn hair because holding on to nothing ain't doing you no good, and you look good bald. Like it ain't. Come on, honey, just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I mean, it is what it is.
It's the delivery for me, bitch. That's where you said, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go.
Oh man, yeah. So we'll see. We'll continue to talk about it. It might not be every week because it's not worth talking about.
No, we could probably do a finale. We could do a finale episode and call it a day.
Finale. Yeah, I think that's about right.
And you see, we ain't even talking about doing no lives or nothing. We're like,
no, girl, not for this.
No.
I hope Jessica wins it though. I want to see Jessica.
I do too.
That would be dope.
Jessica win it,
for somebody who was on the second season to come back and win All Stars after being gone for so long. And quite frankly, Jessica, that bitch could read the dictionary, and I would fucking die.
Let me tell you, I really wanted her to be Sofia Vergara for the Snatch Game.
Oh, that would
that would have been so good.
Yeah.
Even though I did crack up at Jimbo's little what's the little
orphan Annie or whatever.
Oh, little
Annie.
Loves it. Lollipop.
What's
whatever.
the curly?
Damn, I
almost said Curly Sue. What's the whatever that small white girl was? When she started tap dancing, that shit took me though. That shit had me on
as
the
big
floor.
as she was.
That shit was so fucking funny to me. It was so stupid.
It was really stupid.
That's my kind of humor.
Stupid. It wasn't funny to me. I was just like, this like
that shit was so stupid. But all right, well, anything else on your hearts and minds?
Happy Juneteenth, everybody.
Yes. And happy New York Pride this weekend. Well, I'll be out there.
Yes.
Physically, maybe not mentally, but physically, I'll be there.
I'll be there with you, boo.
Exactly. We might be in outer space, but if you see us, say hey. What's that damn little girl's name?
I cannot remember.
We got the damn internet. Hold on. Jimbo Snatch Game character. Oh, see, now this is taking me to Canada. Damn, I didn't know Jimbo is 39.
She looks so.
Ooh.
I really don't like that bitch.
See.
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. Damn, the drink.
Girl, I had to look up the damn song. Because this one, I was like, good ship, lollipop.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
I couldn't think of that for the life of me.
What else?
We didn't say shout out to Tyler Perry. Shout out Tyler Perry. I'll slice it in. Shout out to Tyler Perry. Actually, I do want to save 2 minutes of this. We back right quick. We had to shout out to Tyler Perry. Is it too late to own like a BET and a VH1? Like, are people checking for cable like that? I think it's dope to see a person get it.
I feel like it's worth it. I feel like it's worth it because if anything that we've learned from like Oprah Winfrey, you have the capability of changing the landscape when you own shit. So, the fact that it's no longer, I don't know if those were Viacom properties or entities or whatever, but like, having that on there gives you a whole distribution channel for content and other things and budget, to make new investments. And you got your own goddamn studio. You building your own goddamn airport. Like, yes, get your own TV shows so you can put that shit out there and have Medea Sundays on both.
Yeah. I mean, well, and that's the one thing that I really wanted to just highlight, that it's crazy that Medea, his character Medea, has took him this far. Okay. Yeah. And let's be honest, Medea is a form of drag. Right. So when we talk about like what's happening in the drag community right now and how they're trying to ban drag shows and all the rest of that. Bitch, look at the power of drag. Look how we've seen too many people.
And Terry.
But not just that, but think about how many times. Yeah, you said Terry.
I know, I did say Terry. Drag name. Drag her.
But let's go even back to like the early, like to the 90s and early 2000s. How many movies were made with men dressing up in drag as well too?
I'm like some bosom bottoms at 81.
Yep.
I mean, it's just
Taxi.
It's just crazy to think that like people are starting to act like this is an issue, but it's been around forever, and there's a lot of good that comes out of it. So
should D be added to the alphabet library, or the alphabet soup? Should like D for drag be added?
Not from my understanding. From my understanding, it's just a persona, not
an identity.
Not an identity. Yeah.
But I mean, even if we need to do it temporarily to
make drag a protected class.
Since y'all want to treat it like not get it twisted. Unless the D is in the letters. It may be attached to some individual, but there's plenty of D already.
Plenty of D, right? That's true. And honestly, the trans community is half the drag queens anyway. They're the ones that really have pushed this culture forward. So it's included. So, but no, shout out to Tyler Perry. That's dope. And just to see a black man own some shit in this country at that level, it's fire. And it shows also, you were saying, just like to see how Madea really paid for this, shows you the strength of the black community.
Yeah.
When we like some shit, we gonna push some shit.
And the tolerance and the hypocrisy.
That's a word too. Yeah. That is a whole ass word.
We are multifaceted. We are not a monolith.
Multifaceted people. Now it's time to wash your hands, your legs, and your ass. See you next week.
Bye, y'all.
God, we be talking out of both sides of our neck all the time. As a people. I hate that faggoty bullshit. Oh, you going to that, Madea?
Oh, I love Madea.